sent the going live tweet. I was supposed to go live in like half an hour, but then I was like, you know what? Let's sit here with some game design instead. Also, yes, I will be redoing. So this is the new interface. I will be changing the top bit. I really had high hopes. I had really high hopes and expectations of the green screen effect, and I didn't think about how neon effects are, of course, as everything is with pixels, an illusion, and that is not an actual transparency. So I didn't think about how, as cute as it looks, my logo at the corner would look weird. I didn't think about that. I did not think about that whatsoever. So you might be able to see. Actually, I'll just give you guys a nice little sneaker peeker. This is all of my current games that I'm working on. Not all of them, all of the ones that have premises. All the ones that have premises are here, unless they're really big projects. Those have their own folders. But yes, this is what we're working with, and I'm trying to decide what we're going to work on first. What I definitely want to do, I was supposed to do it over Christmas, but you guys know how things end up happening. I was thinking at first, like, oh yeah, I have to do the solo version of Snugglebug, which is just an easy little hack to do. But as is with most little things, I was like, should I? Should I not? Let me do something else. And then I get distracted. Also, I will be rehauling this overlay again. I mean, hi, welcome. I'll be overhauling it to get rid of that fucking green screen leftover shit. I'll move the icon. It would have been cool if it worked. It didn't work. Rest in peace. The hours I spent on that. But hi, hello, welcome. I'm going to pop a little. It just looks so bare. So I'm going to pop a little chat and a little emote, which, by the way, my subscribers get emotes, which is so cool. They're really cute. Look, the emotes are really cute. Look at this. Look at this. She's beautiful. Is she not beautiful? Look at her. I might have to make the chat bigger. Hi, welcome. I might have to make the chat a little bit bigger on the screen so you guys can read it better. I didn't think it would be that small. Like, I thought it'd be a little bit bigger. Ah, that did nothing. Interesting. Not what I expected. Maybe if I pull it. Okay, that makes it a tiny bit bigger. I'll be adding captions eventually, once I figure out exactly how and when and where to put those. But, and so then you guys will have this, and so people will be able to see that, yes, I am indeed fucking talking. So currently I have my Google Drive open with all of the games that currently have premises or have been worked on or working on. Some of these might already be done. Are any of these done? Yeah. Text is done. This might actually be the hack, though. Oh, this is just the plain text. Okay, I should probably make a separate folder for ones that are fucking done. Oh, my God. So, yeah. That one's done. That's an element of that one. Forever 41's plain text is the fuck it meter belongs to that. Obviously, Fax Nochmat is done. Euphoria is done. So I guess from here up, mostly those are not finished games. Or games that are in progress. Let's put it that way. That sounds fucking nicer. Therapy Battleship will be finished pretty soon because I fixed the problem I was having with it, so I just have to sit down and, like, do that. But since I'm working on that project with somebody, with my amazing mod, Mitzi, actually, I'm going to be keeping that for myself. This is a visual novel, but it's actually the sequel to the one that I'm working on right now, so can't show you guys that. Can't work on it yet. And Little Gods has 2 documents because I'm not as well organized as I seem to be. But that's okay. Hallmark is long as fuck, and I'm thinking, you know what? With how big it is and how difficult it's been to make, it'll hopefully come out by Christmas 2022. But you know what? That's okay. So I was thinking today, I'm bouncing between working on Stuck in Space and working on I Spy. But I also have to do at some point, I mean, I don't have to, but I want to do the solo version of Snugglebug. So you know what? Fucking wondering if I should get it out of the way at the beginning. Or not. Hi, welcome. Thanks for subscribing. You should have access to the emotes now if you want to use them. I paid good money for them. I'll also be adding more emotes soon. Just a few more as like I have the slots open for emotes. Because I want to buy the other emote packets from Young Cats, and they are super, super cute. These raccoons give me so much joy. Just look. Little me. There we go. Thank you for the sub. Also, for some reason, it didn't pop up with the notification. Why? I don't know. This interface is truly something. But isn't that raccoon cute? I just love him. But yes, let's see. Fucking... Fine, I'll do Snugglebug first. And then we get to go do really cool stuff. I still can't believe I wrote that game because of like a joke, just like a little joke, little jokey joke. All right, there we go. So, first off, the solo version is very lovingly called Kai's version. Because Kai is the name of a wonderful friend Jeffrey's dog. And, let me see, Jeremy's dog. And Jeremy was the one who asked me if there was a version of it where you could play with just a pet. And I was like, literally, that's really smart, because I also don't have anybody here. And it would be cool to have, like, at least a pet version or a solo version or something that you could play, because currently with this game, you need 2 people. Sorry it took so long, Jeremy. But at least it's still January. It's not that hard of a hack. It just needs like one mechanic difference. The rest's gonna be the same. So let's see. Snugglebug character creation is the same. Premise is the same. Gameplay changes. So let's grab this. We're also eventually gonna have to add this, like make the pretty version of it to add in Canva. But we'll see about that. Let me see. All right, cool. So yes, you still grab your cozy snacks, drinks, and desires. You get snuggled up with a blanket around your shoulders. And loosely around your pet. You are now that. You read the premise out loud. You create your character. So there's no longer 2 people playing. Character creation table. And 1 for your pet, why not? So, just for those who might not be familiar, Snugglebugs, names are created by taking a name, like picking a name, your name, or picking a name, changing all the vowels to O's, and then adding Fluffle at the end of it. So Kai would be Koofluffle. I'm gonna add that, actually. Looks like a fancy dish, doesn't it? Koofluffle. Hi, Dana! Hi. Just making a solo version for one of my games, as was requested, and I have not gotten around to doing. But then after that, we will work on one of the two really, really cool, fun games that I've been working on recently. It might be I Spy, actually, because it's just been on my mind. I was up super late last night because I decided to pick up a new hobby, safe cracking. I should be alarmed at how quickly I took to that shit. But I am pretty confident in my ability to crack most combination locks at this point, as long as they don't have fucking false tumblers. So if they have false tumblers, it's going to be a lot harder to crack, and then you have to get into fucking safe cracking. I know, but like, look. I had the time of my life. And it really is just a natural progression of hobbies and interests. I like solving things. I hesitate to say I like puzzles. Online. You'd be surprised what you can learn online. By like 4 something in the morning, I knew reliably how to crack locks, which is what you call quote unquote like classical safe cracking. And then I knew 4 ways-ish to bypass safety mechanisms and then crack locks. And then several ways to explode doors off of hinges of safes safely. It's shocking how much you can learn on the internet if you know, just what to look for. So I've learned there's 2 types of safe, fire and burglar safes. Fire safes, much easier to crack because they're not actually meant to withstand being broken into. They're meant to withstand great heat. Whereas burglar safes melt at much lower temperatures, but they've got more safety mechanisms. So modern ones, if they're not electronic, they'll have like fake tumblers, or they'll have like a glass or a plexiglass or a plastic sheet in it that, like, if you try to bore through it to bypass it instead of cracking the safe traditionally, it triggers a fail-safe mechanism and locks the safe completely to where you would genuinely have to completely dismantle it. I also learned that most people that burglarize like safes to like plunder them actually lift the whole safe to a secondary location where they can safely and in peace, or with materials, either take it apart or crack it in peace and have like time, because it does take quite a lot of time. It took me in practice about, I want to say 15 minutes to crack a basic combination lock. Just because it's a lot more steps than people show in movies. And there's like a pretty good like methodology to it, which is cool. There's also 2 types of combination locks, group 1 and group 2. Group 1 has like 1, 2, or 3 number combinations, and group 2 has like up to 6 numbers. So like your basic, most like common combination locks are going to be group 2. And then like, so the amount of like wheels in the mechanism will correspond to how many numbers there are in the combination. And like, since it doesn't say so on most safes, a lot of the like clicking at the beginning is just to figure out how many wheels are in there. But some safes have false tumblers, so you'll hear a misleading clicking sound that actually doesn't mean anything in between the clicks that actually mean something, and it's almost impossible to differentiate just by listening. Especially if you're just listening like straight up with your ear pressed to the fucking thing. But also, fun thing, hey, tip for you guys, safety tip. Because one of the reasons why I learned how to do this kind of shit is also so that I know how to protect myself better. If you get a fucking safe, reset the code. Safes come with tryout codes. Those are industry standard and relatively public knowledge, / it does not take long to Google to find out what the industry standards are. And most people, when they get a safe, they just use that as the combination. Like, they never reset it, even though it takes like 5 minutes. So a lot of burglars will be able to just straight up try out. How many did I have? Okay, so for Lagarde safes, there's 2 typical tryouts. For S&G safes, there's 3 typical tryouts, potentially 4. You can try out those combinations in 2 minutes, max. like if you're taking time. You could probably try all of those in a minute and then open the safe like it's no big deal. So, please. Yes, right. I do need to edit the layout a little bit because that stuff. But yeah, reset the fucking codes because it does take time to crack if you don't know the code. But also, please don't keep your fucking codes written on the safe or near the safe. Most people keep the code on a paper or even on the wall behind the safe, near the safe, or in the same room as the safe. Takes about 5 minutes to look and find. So a lot of people that burglarize safes don't technically crack the lock so much as like they use combination deduction, which is just different ways of figuring out what the combination is without having to actually listen to the lock system and deduce it. So that's like one of them. Also, businesses typically day lock their things, which means they don't actually lock their safes. They just don't reset it after they close it. So a lot of business safes are left fully unlocked, just close the door, or they only lock the last, unlock the last digit. So they unlock it the first 2 steps, like if there's 3 wheels and like 3 numbers, and then they don't do the last one, so at the end of the day, all they have to do is put in the last number. And it's a lot easier to find out 1 number than it is to find out 3. So don't day lock your shit. That's stupid. It's a really, really great way for somebody to walk in and just, like, very quickly crack the safe. And then, yeah. So what I like to do and what the hobby for me is lock manipulation, which is, like, listening and figuring out the contact points of the lock so that you can figure out what the numbers are. You have to graph that shit, though, which is why it takes 15 to 20 minutes if you're doing it leisurely and, like, taking your time to just, like, listen and write it out. I'm sure you could speed it up, but, like, on a casual basis, like, it took me, like, 15 minutes. So it's fun, but it's also mostly useless for actual real-life heisting for stuff that is newer because most people have digital locks on their safes, like key pins, which, like, not impossible to crack, but you can't use, like, lock manipulation for that shit in the same way because it's fucking digital. So there's no fucking clicks, there's no dial, there's no combination lock. For that one, you either need software and Wi-Fi, or you need to bore through the back into the mechanism and, like, hope that there's no fail safes or trip mechanisms inside it. I get really into this shit. Like, I have 10 pages of notes in front of me right now that I took yesterday where I also, like, drew out lock mechanisms and all of their parts so that I could study what they were named and the exact processes so that I could memorize them because I just find it fucking fun. And I really like heist stuff. Like, I like writing heist stuff. I like playing heist stuff. And the more you know, the more interesting it is to write and read. It's more interesting for people to read it if I kind of know what I'm talking about. And then there's safe manipulation, which is, like, AKA, like, the low road versus the high road of, like, safe cracking, where you actually physically alter the safe. And that's, like, where you, like, drill into it with a borescope so that you can get a camera in, so that you can look at the mechanism as it moves, or so that you can straight up, like, bypass it, like, have the borescope in to look at it and then shove, like, I don't know, like, shove, like, an extra long rod inside to, like, physically move the bar. Oh, constantly. I wander into this shit constantly. Also, very interesting, drilling into safes, not a given possibility, because a lot of safes, more modern safes, this isn't it, but this is Snugglebook. I promised Jeremy I would make a solo version of it, so I'm just, like, editing that real quick. It's just editing the gameplay. It's really easy. And then it'll be done, and I'll publish it later tonight. And then we're going to hop into the spy heist game that I've been working on. And I'll introduce you guys to it a bit. But until then, I'm actually just kind of sharing with you guys all the shit that I learned yesterday. So, when you want to drill into a safe, if it's any kind of modern safe, it might actually be cobalt plated on the inside. So, you know, safes are usually steel, stainless steel, which is not difficult to melt. It's not impossible if you're really determined to, like, get your hands on things that can melt it. Like a plasma cutter, for example, can cut through safes. It could still chip some, like, fail-safe mechanisms, so that's not, like, foolproof, but a plasma cutter can cut through most safes. And all metal burns at some point, But cobalt plates are put on the inside of, like, very close to the outside, but like on the inside layer of the safe to keep you from boring into it, because the drill bit will slip right off. It won't be able to get purchased. So what you'll need to have is a drill bit that either has a titanium bit or a diamond bit. But you'll need several motors, and it still takes a long time because the bit will outlast the motor. So you'll need to replace the battery and or bring several drills with you. So A, this is loud as shit, and B, this takes quite a fucking minute. So this is a method that like can only be deployed if you have a lot of time and nobody will hear you. So it's something that you could do if you, for example, stole a safe, or if you have a safe at home that you just locked yourself out of and you just want to be like very Ocean's 11 about it instead of like calling a locksmith, which like you should call a locksmith. But like for you know, hypothetical purposes, if your character wants to break into a safe and the safe needs to be drilled open, an obstacle could be as cobalt plating, in which case you can't just use like a drill in and out, but you have to like drill with the titanium or diamond bit. It takes a long time, and you need several batteries and or drills to fit the bit onto, because the drill's going to die before you are done, or before you get all the way through. And also it takes a long time, so this would be something that you would have a character do after they've already stolen the safe and brought it to a secondary location. I'm not telling anybody to do this shit. I don't do this shit to commit any kind of, you know... It's the same with pickpocketing. I just like the puzzle of it. With pickpocketing, people are the puzzle. And that's really, really interesting to me, as kind of messed up as that sounds. Because in order to pickpocket somebody nicely, you have to understand how people fundamentally work. And then you have to spend, like, depending on how quick you can think, a few seconds. Or if you've got the time, a few minutes, observing your mark. Figure out what their gaze behavior patterns are, which is where also my research and my PhD helped me a lot. And vice versa, I'm better at what I do in research because of all of the research into pickpocketing and misdirection that I've done for fun. It's cool to figure that out, because then you figure out how to, like, exactly what manipulation tools to use to direct their gaze and their attention somewhere else, and see if you can pick their pocket. Or, you know, it's just, like I said, I only do that shit to friends or people I'm dating. And I've never stolen anything. I always give it back. It's just, you know, to prove that I can do it. And it's the same with fucking safe cracking. I just think it's like a puzzle. It's just mentally stimulating. And I was fucking correct. I knew that shit would be stimulating to me because I fucking sat there graphing shit out, practicing the combination, like, lock, like, cracking for the whole like 15-20 minutes, and I was not distracted. My mind wasn't racing. It was super calming. It was super chill, like I fucking knew it would be. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Nice hobby that I've picked up. Definitely going to be doing more research on. It's also just like cool to know, because it's just really fun to bust shit out like that in group settings and have people go, "What did you say?" It's just fun to know things, you know? I think, anyway. I think it's fun to know things. So, yeah. So, for the gameplay for Snugglebug, complete segue. I'm just making this so that it works solo. I'm just, you know, this is mostly just for fun. There's no real winning in this game. You choose the starting event and narrate it. Right, so rock, paper, scissors, you can't necessarily do with a dog. So alternatively, or with a pet. So alternatively, So for this, pretty easy. If you hold up 2 fingers to your pet and they go for your left one, you succeed. They go for your right one, you fail. I'm gonna add some modifiers here. That should be it. You can now officially play this game with your pet. That took me fucking 2 minutes. I really should have done this sooner. My bad. But yeah, let me just move. Alright, well that is saved. So we're gonna go back. Drives. Ignore what you see. We're gonna hop in I Spy. Thank you. I had fun. So, I Spy is actually a game that has become very, very important to me because my whole life, ever since I can even remember, the cool thing about growing up with a lot of different families is you get a lot of different experiences. And when I was starting out in this world, I was with a very young family. Family's probably a bit of a stretch. I was with some very young people that created me. And they, as young people, liked young people shit of the time. So like young people shit in the 90s and early 2000s was like heist movies and the Oceans movies and Spy Kids and spy movies and all that shit. And I just grew up thinking that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. So the Oceans movies, as many of you might know, are my favorite movies probably of all time. Like they are up there amongst my favorite movies I've ever seen. Cinematography, the writing, the direction, the editing, the music, like truly all of it 100% up my alley and has influenced me heavily as a creator and as a writer when it comes to that kind of like genre. I saw the movie Army of Thieves yesterday. It's on Netflix. Everybody should watch it. Everybody should also watch. Look, I was already going to watch it because it's Matthias Schweighöfer. I'm fucking German, okay? So seeing German actors in international projects will make every German lose their fucking mind because we never get to see any of our actors make it outside of Germany. And German cinema can be cool. We've got some really cool movies, but it's not the same. It doesn't have the same success. And very rarely do our movies get dubbed or even subtitled. And so we often can't really share things that our country's made with people outside of it who don't speak German, which is a really bad loss. Plus, as we all know, translation industry is famously fucking horrible, and they will kill every joke dead, and then people will continue to have that fucking stereotype that Germans don't have a sense of humor, when actually we do. We're just very sarcastic, and Americans are typically not very sarcastic culturally. So you guys think we're fucking serious. Do you know what a horrible culture shock it was to come to the United States and be myself, which is very fucking funny. And then about, I want to say 6 months in, I said something and I started laughing. And the person I was with was like, confused. Hi, welcome. And I was like, why, what? And he was like, well, I don't know about that. And I was like, I was joking. I wouldn't actually, like, I don't know what it is. I wouldn't actually leave you here. I think I said, hurry your ass up, I'll leave you here. And he was like, I'm hurrying. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm joking. I was joking. Yeah. German movies are very funny. And then I realized, like, I asked, and he was like, oh, I thought you know, because you're German, like, I just figured you were always serious. I was like, that is stupid, first of all. Second of all, this whole time, you thought everything out of my mouth was dead serious. I'm never serious. I'm always joking. I am constantly joking. And everyone I've met since then, they know this because they actually engage with people from different cultures and have brain cells. But yes, an unseasoned sense of humor, for sure. Very, very unseasoned. It was, it was fucking nightmare. But here's my point is, Army of Thieves is also produced by Matthias Schweighöfer, and it's very authentically German. Like, finally, even though it's in English, the movie, he talks to himself in, like, when he thinks somebody's listening, in German, because he's in Germany and he's fucking German. And it has subtitles when he speaks German, and they're correct. And he speaks real German, not like pretend German or anything, because he actually is fucking German. And he like, and the food's German. Like, it's not stereotype German. It's like straight up, that's what our everyday life looks like. And it's just so fucking nice to see, because then I get to show it to other people. But another reason why that's one of my, that movie has become very quickly one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. It's because it's a heist movie and a safe cracking like heist movie, and it's really, really beautiful, and it's got a lot of great elements, and 10 out of 10. It's very, very cool, and it inspired my new hobby of safe cracking. All this to say, I will always be a slut for a heist movie. I love heists. I love spies. I love when those two things converge. I grew up obsessed with Spy Kids. I had so many books about code cracking and how to be a spy, and all those like kids books and stuff, all those like high-tech looking manuals. Honestly, the aesthetic of the manual looks a lot like my backdrop on Twitch right now. Like, it was very much like the Matrix aesthetic. Like, it was very much like just the coolest thing in the world to be a spy. Like, I was obsessed with Spy Kids. I was obsessed with Ocean's 11. I was obsessed with heists. I was obsessed with literally any media that even had a spy. I had the spy Barbie that I had was my favorite toy that I had. It came with a backpack that had like a little zip line in it. And I played with that thing truly all the time. There was a spy Polly Pocket, spy video games. Barbie Secret Agent was a Game Boy SP game that I had that I played every level of at least 30 times. I wanted to be a spy. If you asked me as a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said I want to be a spy. Mostly because I found out if you say con woman, people react very negatively to that. But if you say spy, they go, ah, ha, ha, ha. That's so cute. It's the same job. Just you report to different people. If you're a con woman, you don't necessarily report to anybody. If you're a spy, you're a con artist that works for the government. Or a government. Or a secret organization. My favorite comic series of all time is Global Frequency, which was written in part by Warren Ellis, who you guys might know from Watchmen. One does pay better, yes, indeed. And it's certainly not the government position. But The Hustle was a really great movie. Hi, Sphinx. The Hustle was a really great movie. I love shit like that. So yeah, I used to tell people, like, I want to be a spy. And I used to play pretend I was a spy. My friends and I would play pretend that we were spies. Oh, sorry, Sphinx. For some reason, that did not load properly. Or at least not for me. Although it's not loading properly on screen, so I assume it's for everybody. It's not loading properly. But, yeah, it was just, that was everything that I wanted to do. And so when I was thinking about it, so this, by the way, I'm sorry if you can read this. This is literally what my voice to text said as I was like word vomiting out the premise. I was working on this with Lexi at Black Girl Mage. Everybody should follow. So currently it's a bit of a mess, but I named it I Spy. I'm almost more excited to design the actual pretty game book than I am to just write the game, because I can already see it in my head. Like, I was obsessed with this novel series Spy High, because of course I was. Like, everything that was spy and heist related, I was all over it. So this might end up being my favorite game I've ever made. And I will probably play it, at least in my head, constantly. So for this game, it's a little different from some of the others that I've done. I want it to be able to be played episodically because that's my main goal with everything that I create is I want you to be able to play it in one shots as well, primarily for accessibility reasons, and also because I mean this is still accessibility, but personally, it's just me. I need it to be short because it's very difficult to keep my attention. It's, nothing personal. I can't help the way that my brain works. So I need games to be able to be played in short one-shots. And if I made games you could only play in long-ass sessions, that would feel really weird. Valid. What design doc isn't a mess of word vomit? I mean, I hope later on mine aren't, but currently, yeah, that's what it is. So the premise, I came up with the copy for the tagline and stuff after I'd already edited a lot. So for this one, I actually created one big bad. So there will be no like villain generation necessarily. I mean, you can on the smaller level, but like whatever villain you have, like they report back to this organization. I'm thinking about calling them Argus, but I'm kind of sick of the trope, especially in heist and spy movies. I'm kind of sick of Greco-Roman mythology being the go-to for code names of things. It's just very Eurocentric, and I'm not just European, I'm native, and it would feel very weird if I didn't incorporate more things that I want to see into my games. So I'm probably going to do some more research and use a different mythological creature as like the name for the big bad. But the premise will be something with a lot of eyes, something very all-seeing, kind of, vibe-wise, it's kind of like Goldeneye, which is one of my favorite Bond movies. When I tell you I grew up obsessed with Pierce Brosnan's James Bond. The first Bond movie I ever saw was The World Is Not Enough, which questionable movie for a 9-year-old to see. But I saw it and I turned out okay. The other Bond movie, the second Bond movie that I ever saw was Goldeneye. 10 out of 10. Those are still my two favorite Bond movies. And those are the Bond movies that I think have the best score. Closely followed by the score for Die Another Day. That shit was fan-fucking-tastic. I loved it. So it's got a little James Bond in this. It's got a little bit of every like young adult novel about spies that I read when I was a kid. The spy manuals that I owned. The little toy spy equipment like the periscope to look around the corner, or the sunglasses that have mirrors on the back or on the corners so you can see behind you. The kicker for that is those glasses were definitely made for white people, and I'll tell you why. Because it was made for people with very thin to no hair. If you put sunglasses on that have mirrors on the inner corners so you can see behind yourself, and you have any hair at all that is of texture or thickness, all you will see is your hair. I used to wear those sunglasses all the time. I couldn't see jack shit, because I have always had a lot of very thick hair that's just a lot of volume away from my head. So, I'd love to revamp those glasses to something a little bigger, to work with hair that is not 0.5 millimeter away from your face at most. My friend put it on, who has barely any hair, and she's always had very thin, very fine, and very few, just like not as much hair. And because she's white, and she put them on. She's like, "These are great," and I was like, "Yeah, you can have them." I can't see shit, but that's okay. I was also very obsessed with like potentially being able to like do like hand-to-hand combat, and I think Baby Brandy would be super proud that I am like pretty okay at kickboxing. I'd say pretty good. I mean, I did used to train. I used to be a kickboxing trainer, so I mean, there's that. So I think she'd be proud. So yeah, as always, character creation is something that I really love. I'm still thinking about whether or not to use a GM. Might not. We'll kind of see how I end up doing the gameplay. Premise is my favorite thing to do. World building. So these are just some that I initially like came up with, and I refined it a little bit. So basically, you play with a group. It's 2, I think, to 4 players is my sweet spot. That's because I personally don't actually like DMing for like 6+ people. So a lot of fucking people to remember and keep track of. I really, really like 4 people is a sweet spot for me to like run a game for. And I think it's a really fun number to run a game with because everybody gets to have like a nice amount of like time to really flesh themselves out and explore. And I really like it. I like smaller groups. And I think this, especially with like more covert operations, I think 2 to 6 players is a good idea. Because also this being able to be done with 2 players and potentially a GM, who knows, I'm not sure yet, means it's easier to organize. So you will play a type of spy, an archetype, a type of spy. Currently, my favorite is Agent Bubblegum because that's what I would fucking be. Agent Bubblegum is what I'm calling basically like the like Y2K like teen spies, like a totally spies type person. That is what Agent Bubblegum is, like as an adult though, like because I prefer obviously to play as an adult. So there's like the 00 somethings, like the very classic like spy, like the shaken not stirred, you wear, you know, suits, you've got a lot of like very stealthy little gadgets, you might be a little bit more aloof, you might have more allure, you know, like you might just be like your very classic old school spy. Like you might be in the highest level of like you operate off of the code of guys who shook Frank Sinatra's hand, you know, which is a reference to Ocean's 13, which a lot of people discount, and they shouldn't. Ocean's 13 is a very good movie. It's very fun. I'm all about it. Linus gets to play a bigger role, and while I'm not as well informed about what Matt Damon's really like, that role is one of my fucking favorites in those movies. And I love him. I'm also currently writing a very long like heist fic, and it brings me so much joy. It's stupid. So that's the 00 something is the name of the archetype. Agent Bubblegum is your totally spies type. The expendable, you guys might hear the reference, is a retired spy, or quote unquote like older spy. Maybe not necessarily fully retired. I don't think they ever retire. The expendable will literally keep going until they fucking croak, and they look like they're about 2 seconds away from doing so. But if you fucking blink, they can have a knife at your throat faster than you can say mommy. So, but like they are no longer valued by their organizations. They're trying to be phased out, aged out. Like the expendable is an elderly spy who can absolutely still kick your ass. This game is also very comedic because I literally thrive in comedic spaces. So the games that I inherently make with a lot of humor in them, just because I think that makes things better. Then you've got the just when I thought I was out, because you know what I love almost as much as I love spy and heist shit? Fucking gangster shit. I love mob movies. Love. There's The Family. Oh, The Family is a movie I have seen at least 4 times. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. And unfortunately, it's a genre that's very often marked with extreme misogyny, and I think that's such a shame and a waste, and also like not necessarily reflective of like a lot of actual things in those circles. Unfortunately, very reflective of some of those circles for sure, but like if we're already making fake shit, fucking improve it. Nobody needs a fucking mob movie to be fucking realistic. Also, what was it? Oh yeah, fucking Once Upon a Time in America. First of all, that movie is so goddamn long. It's so fucking long. That and Goodfellas. Why are those movies so long? They're too long. They're too long. They're so long. It hurts. It hurts. And they are so misogynistic. It is awful. It's really hard to watch, which really sucks because cinematography-wise, beautiful, right? Beautiful movies. Extremely well made. Interesting premises, but like a lot of gratuitous sexualized violence, which is just not fun. So the just when I thought I was out character is a character that is bitter. This bitch doesn't want to do this shit anymore. This bitch feels maybe betrayed by their organization, used by their organization, did one last mission with the promise that would be fucking it. Like, they quit. They're done. Maybe they lost a partner in the field. Like, this is a bitch that does not want to fucking be here anymore. But they're getting called in one more time. and they can't say no. This is an offer they can't refuse. Either maybe the incentive is like just too sweet to pass up. Maybe the incentive is blackmail. Maybe, you know, it's up to you. But that character, a character is grumpy, is being dragged into this kicking and screaming, but also will see it through because they are good at what they do and there's a reason they haven't been let go. And then there's Spy Kids. I couldn't resist. I mean, how fucking funny would that be? You're fucking 13 and you're a fucking, like, international super spy and you get paired up with, like, a fucking expendable. First of all, that's just funny. Or you get paired up with, like, Agent Bubblegum, where, like, maybe neither of you takes each other seriously. And then you end up working together, working along really well. Or you end up in a fucking team, because I said 4 to 6, because it's entirely possible to play all of these characters in one group. That certainly is a mix of fucking people. Or, you know, you can also have, like, several Agent Bubblegums. Like, you can, all three of you can be that archetype. It's just an archetype. You still have to come up with their fucking backstory, their desires, things that they dislike, and then a nemesis. I will expand on those points more in the game thing, but those are, like, the points that everybody's going to be, like, filling out for their characters. So, like, you decide this is your archetype. I'm going to write a little blurb for each about, like, who they are, kind of how I explained it to you guys. Except, you know, written nicely. And then you will have to fill out these things, basically. I'm probably going to end up designing character sheets, which is a note that I'm going to write down so I don't fucking forget. Design character sheets. So what I also do, like, in this stage of developing a game is I'm basically going through this, creating to-do lists of, like, what needs to be created, what needs to be done. So I'm going to design character sheets. When I tell you the game book of this is going to be the prettiest fucking... Well, maybe not pretty in the most typical sense of the word, but, like, is going to be the most aesthetic fucking game book I've ever made. It's going to have also, like... So the How to Be a Spy books. Let's see if we can actually find some. You know, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I mean, I already am, but, like, I'm going to fucking open a new tab. Let's see what comes up. 2000s, Scholastic, maybe, like, How to Be a Spy. I'm sure there's something. Interesting. No. Bitch, not I Spy. Well, there's this. Okay, there's that. Don't know exactly what that is. That's not the thing that I had. Maybe a spy handbook? Not fucking I Spy, motherfucker. Okay, let's get rid of that. Book. I say 2000s because I'm an old bitch. The Real Spy's Guide, maybe? That's not quite the aesthetic I was looking for. I was looking for a very specific Matrixy style thing. So that's going to be the aesthetic I do it in. It's very, like, Matrixy. Alright, let's just do this. What is this? Okay. Ooh, see? This is very 2000s, is it not? Look at it. It comes with the fucking... This is the glasses! It's the fucking glasses I just told you guys about! Look at those little bitches right there. They're darker on the corner because there's a fucking mirror on the inside so you can see behind yourself. And there's a little flashlight pen. Also, gadgets, one of the coolest fucking things of the genre. And... like, endless possibilities. The Charlie's Angels movies. I've seen the Charlie's Angels movies, Charlie's Angels and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, more times than I can count. Truly. Last November, I think, I did a marathon where in one evening I watched all 4 Spy Kids movies after watching both Charlie's Angels movies. And when I tell you I was on some straight up living my best fantasy bullshit for at least a week. At least a week. Heavily fed into the creation of this game, by the way. So, like, this aesthetic right here, as you're seeing, like, with the little look of, like, a microchip in the background, and the, like, purple and the blue, and the, like, holographic, look at the little cipher wheel. Yeah, exactly this type of shit is what I was very into at the time. Let's see, what's this one? And then, oh, actually, wait, I had that one. I had that book. I did have that book. It's a fucking good one. It's a fucking good one. It really, really is. I was also a big fan of Harriet Spy, although I thought it was a misnomer because she wasn't really a spy. Yes! So actually I had this book, The Real Spy's Guide to Becoming a Spy. And then, so in the game book for I Spy, I'm going to have things that look a lot like this. Like the super spy thing, like very much in that aesthetic. And they're going to be like little spy tips of like how to be a better spy, or like little like secret tips and like secret languages and shit like that. So I'm thinking actually within the game itself, I'm going to add a little category. Specialty. Because what if you guys are all playing like a group of Agent Bubblegums? Like what if you guys doing like fully totally spies? Each of you is going to have a different specialty. Like, are you the weapons analyst? Are you like the information analyst or something? Like, are you the communication specialist? Like, what's your thing? What are you the gadget creator? Like, what is your role? Yeah. Save some time. Copy pasting. Yes. Very cool. And then that will also help when people are like deciding like if you guys want to have like a whole team of spy kids, which you can do. You can fucking do that. I don't care. Or if you want to have a whole team of 00 somethings or like a whole Expendables campaign, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. The gadgets are amazing. I don't know if you can hear it. This? I do that because of Goldeneye. I taught myself when I saw Goldeneye, I think I was maybe, must have been like at most, 9. I love those movies. I have a lot of fun watching those. They really like reignited my. You can guarantee if it's a spy thing, I probably like it. Hi, thank you for cheering. I appreciate you. Let me send you an emote. Let me send you this little happy raccoon. That's a really cute little astronaut. Thank you. Thank you. I really enjoyed Kingsman Secret Service. Like, I really, really liked it. I haven't... So the new one that's coming out, I don't really know that much about it, but I'm very excited about it. Kingsman, I think, is what the newest one's coming out. The second one was good. I liked the first one better, as one typically does. Yeah, Jesus, I bet. Moving countries is always a nightmare. I wish you the best of fucking luck. It is not easy. It is not easy, but good luck. I hope it continues to go well, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, I love the Kingsman movies. I watched the first one, I think, 3 or 4 times, at least. The second one, I think I've only seen twice. I do really like those. I like the gadgets. I like the training. It's always fun. Oh, I'm interested. That's fucking cool. You know, I don't think I've actually watched the trailer for the newest one yet. I think I saw the teaser trailer. Like, when they first announced the project and they released the teaser, I saw that. I don't think I've seen the most recent trailers. I should check it out because it should be coming out soon, huh? Aw, thank you. I don't know what a hype train is, but it's a nice notification to get. Thank you. Let me send you a cute little emote. Oop, nope, that was wrong. That was the wrong fucking button. One of these days, I'm going to click the wrong, horrible button, and I'm going to fuck everything up. But until then, have a smoosh. Yeah, I bet. I'm moving in the spring, and I am slowly starting to pack and get ready, and it's not fun. Thanks, Mitzi. That's true. That's cute. I like that. That's nice. But yeah, I do. I also hope everybody else is doing well. I hope we're all having a good time thinking about this game. But yeah, I think having the specialty thing as an option that you have to fill out in your character sheet is going to be something that like helps differentiate in case you want to do a whole thing of like, and the cool thing is maybe you want to have a whole thing of Agent Bubblegums with one expendable. Like, you can literally, the group dynamics endless for the combination that you can end up doing together. And that'll also help inform how you get together, because where it could be a Totally Spies thing where what I loved about Totally Spies, that was one of my favorite TV shows growing up. What I really loved about Totally Spies is that they would really be minding their business, existing, and out of fucking nowhere, their organization would just swoop them up. They'd be leaning against a wall, the wall would disappear and turn into a chute. They would be drying their hands in the bathroom, and it would suck them up into a tube and drop them at Tahoo, a.k.a. the headquarters of their organization. And I love that show. I really want to cosplay from it. Also, of course, as somebody who also, to some people, looks ethnically ambiguous, I don't like that term a lot because I'm really only ethnically ambiguous to white people. But yeah, I fucking love that show. Right? It is one of my favorite shows. It still is one of my favorite shows. I grew up to be Mandy, aesthetically, which, you know, we established on Twitter. Mandy, for anybody not familiar with their names, Mandy is the tan brunette mean girl who was not a part of the Spies, but actually does join them, I think, in an episode. She was just a mean girl, but she was very pretty. She was a very popular pretty girl. And aesthetically, I think we all found out that, like, that is what I grew up to look like, dress like, act like. And I really loved Alex, though. It does. I didn't even think about that. I did not even think about that. Yeah, she always got the short end of the stick, though, TBH. She did join for circumstances. I don't remember the plot of that show at all anymore. My favorite thing about it, as is with like most of my favorite shows, is that it's fucking episodic, so there is no lasting consequences for anything that happens ever. And I just love her. Also, I was a huge fan of Men in Black when I was growing up, because that's basically taking heisting, secret agents, and aliens, which are my 3 favorite things, and smashing them together, creating a genre that I just love. I love when these things come together. But yeah, I did not actually make the connection between our names, Mandy and Brandy. Hi, welcome. Yeah, I did not make the connection between Mandy and Brandy. I feel like I should have noticed that, but I did not. Did not notice that. But yeah, I think adding the specialty thing will help people be able to create like even more intricate like group dynamics. So let me see. When it comes to like the starting premise, I'm going to have like an array of ways that they get pushed together. Example of like the Totally Spies, plucked from wherever you are. Motherfucker. From wherever you are. Secret note. A code. The cool thing is also that some of this can really be interactive. If you guys, I think it's gonna have a GM. It just makes sense. Yeah, it's got a GM. It's got a GM. Because then you get to do this cool thing. A code you actually have to crack. Together. And it can be easy. I mean, basically in those spy books, they're just fucking word jumbles. Spy master. I'm gonna fucking put that on there. It's a thought. It's a fucking thought. There's Spy Master, the, like, agent. I was thinking the M, like, GM from James Bond, but that's, like, a bit too on the nose. Potentially copyrighted and also confusing to new people. So I didn't put that there. But, yeah, the Spy Master might be a thing. The head honcho is, like, a little reference to the way that they kind of refer to people sometimes within offices like that. What is it? Oh, the SSA, your supervisory special agent, which is actually what they refer to special agents as if they are senior agents, supervisory special agents. Fun fact, that would have been my job title had I stayed with the career that I was on and succeeded. I would have eventually gone from being a special agent to being a supervisory special agent. Isn't that fucking crazy? The person you're interacting with would be more like the Bosley, I think. But we'll see. It could also, it depends on the game that you're running, TBH. I will probably have notes, which reminds me to add GM notes. Because those are always a good thing to have in a game book. So, I'll put some examples. Some example, like, word jumbles. Or ciphers. Maybe Morse code. And, like, yeah, if you're playing this and you have to fucking Google something, that's okay. I was actually. I was gonna literally going to be a G-man. I was literally on track to work for the FBI as an information analyst in the kidnapping and anti-terrorist department. Code cracking, forensic profiling, like forensic linguistics and profiling, which also includes behavioral profiling, which is a really fun thing that I used to bust out on first dates, because when I did still used to actively like date, because I fucking forced myself to, because I thought I was supposed to, before I realized I didn't have to do shit if I don't want to. Also, I'm gay. Is that if they asked me about my research, I would say like, this is that and this is what it's leading to, and they'd be like, oh, so you can tell if I'm lying, and I'd be like, yes, actually I can. If you're in front of me, yeah, I can. You can also tell your, habits. I can tell a lot by the way that you're talking and communicating, because it's literally my job. And it was literally my research that I have fucking 3.5 degrees in, although technically I only have 2.5 degrees in that, because one of the degrees that I got was not specifically for linguistics. So I only have 2.5 degrees in this. But yeah. So yeah, I think I'm going to give you guys some, like, maybe some examples that people can use if they don't want to make their own, and then have, like, an answer sheet at the end. Kind of like how those, like, books used to have. Cassie, I know. First of all, bold of you to assume, Cassie, that I didn't recognize you based off of your username. I recognized you instantly. I know you. Hello. But nice little dinosaur gecko thing. But yes. It will continue also to come into play, I'm fucking sure, when we record the next Basic Nice seasons of our show. I think baby me would have been extremely happy to know the kind of research I ended up doing and the skill set that because if you really think about it for too long, it's like, I can crack safes. I know a fuck ton of codes. I'm very good at breaking codes because I've been doing it since I was like 6 as a fun thing. And I am a skilled pickpocket. So really, I've stayed with my childhood goals. Yep. Good. Thank you. Oh man, look. Here's the thing. Stealing things makes me feel icky, generally speaking. Would I join a heist team to liberate artifacts from imperialist colonizing countries and their shitty museums and bring them back to the countries they belong to? Maybe. For liability purposes, I shall say the word with the M instead of the word with the Y. We do only steal from colonizers. Fucking men. But yeah, and I am actually going to be on a TTRPG stream, specifically focused about doing that. Actually, I do that to my friends. When I pickpocket my friends, it's because I figure out by watching them that I could, then I do it to prove that I can, and then I give it back to them and tell them that they need to fucking watch this, and this point, so that nobody else can do it. Because if I can do it, somebody who does it for a living can for sure do it. But yes, I'm super excited about that stream. I am so hype, it's ridiculous. I am so fucking excited, it's stupid. I can't wait. I cannot wait to be in that stream. It is one of the most anticipated streams for me this year. If I remember correctly, it's paid, which is even better. But yes, fuck the colonizers. So, I mean, that might be one of your fucking missions here. Like, that, the cool thing is, with something like this, you can easily play this as a one-shot, this game, or you can play it as a campaign. This is not a micro RPG. I think I've accidentally graduated from writing micro RPGs a long time ago. I still write a lot. I write a lot of stuff where it's like, oh yeah, you can make campaigns out of this. Easy. And I'll write down how to fucking do it. So like, it could be that like maybe the first like few episodes you guys do a few heists, and then your GM reveals that like, yeah, you've been hitting banks for intel. You were hitting a casino to get something back, like maybe you were playing some Charlie's Angels shit where some guy's tech got stolen and you have to get it back for him. Maybe you're on information gathering like missions. Patoot's 11! Oh! Wait! Wait, that's really cute. Oh, I love that. I don't know what to do with that. But I'm writing, it's not going to go in the game. But I'm writing it down because it's making me happy. Patoot's 11. It's not going to be in the game book or anything. I've just written it down because it made me very happy. Yes! I am about 3 steps away from being Carmen Sandiego. Also, much like Carmen Sandiego, a lot of people have trouble figuring out where I fucking am. Because I move a lot and I forget to tell people where I'm going. So accidentally, I have pulled a Carmen Sandiego where people are like, where the fuck is Brandy? And I'm like, oh shit, did I not tell you I fucking moved continents? And they'll be like, no, you didn't fucking tell me you moved continents. When was this? And this still happens now, and I'll have to be like, 3 years ago. I forgot to tell you. My bad. It's because I don't exist online, like, as a private person. I don't do social media. No, I think she just, here's the thing. I never watched a single episode of that show, and I did not read the books. I thought she was cool. She looked really hot and interesting, and I really liked the outfit, and I would wear the outfit in a, like, heartbeat. In a fucking heartbeat. I will cosplay Carmen Sandiego in a heartbeat if I can get a red trench and a nice big red hat. I have a very nice head for hats. It's very small. My head. So I'm down. I'm down to be Carmen Sandiego in a fucking heartbeat. But I have actually no fucking idea what that lady did. I just know that people were constantly looking for her, and she was not there. That's all I know about that bitch, is nobody knows where the fuck she is at any given fucking point in time. Not for a single moment does anybody know where the fuck this bitch is. And I love that for her. Privacy, queen. Love it. Did I accidentally put 2? Okay, I might have accidentally put 2. Weird. No, I didn't. That's just dust on my screen. Oops. So yeah, I think it'd be fun if there's the interactive element of you guys actually having to solve stuff. She robbed people! What an icon! Fuck yeah, bitch. Robin Hood that shit. Honestly, if I could be a hacker, which I can't. Well, no. That's a lot of work. It's not that I couldn't. It's that I think I would literally have to drop everything I'm ever doing in my life to do that shit. And that seems like a lot. Plus, that's like super illegal. As opposed to robbing museums, which is apparently only kind of fucking illegal. But, if I were a hacker, I would just literally put zeros at the end of people's fucking bank accounts. The fuck are they gonna do? Banks don't even carry a lot of fucking cash anymore. Like, they do, but relatively speaking, they don't carry the amount of cash that they technically own, because that's insane. There's no reason to do that shit anymore. They keep a certain amount of cash, which they calculate via fucking statistics, how much cash they have to have, and, like, through, like, regulations. And then everything is digitalized. Like, everything. So I'm just saying, I don't understand why hackers haven't been fucking, like, adding more money. You know that hacker I really admire? That guy that hacked into the government system and approved everyone's application for food stamps. That's a fucking hero. That's a fucking hero. That guy. And I think he's in prison, and that's fucking stupid. That is fucking stupid. He literally did the government's job, and they put him in fucking prison, if I remember correctly. And that fucking sucks. But I want to make this interactive, so you guys actually have to crack ciphers and, like, codes. And how fucking fun would that be? I think that would be really, really fun. Some of the games that I make, I genuinely can see them physically. Like, I can see them being made into physical game boxes you can buy. And eventually, that is something that I aim to do, is upgrade some of the games that I've designed to be bigger, more full, and made into actual physical games that you can have in your hand. And then I will cry for about 10 years. Just from fucking joy. All right, so I want things to be introduced, like, via narration. I'll have an example maybe in it, or I think I'll have an example or something. Just gonna make a note about interactive. And this is not necessarily, like, this interactive thing's not necessarily just, like, how you get together or whatever, but, like, it could be. Also, it could be different. One of you could get plucked from wherever you are. One of you could get ambushed on the street. One of you could, like, find a secret note with coordinates. One of you could have to solve a fucking cipher. Like, if you tell the GM, of course, beforehand, like, who you're going to be, like, what kind of spy you're going to be and what your specialty is, the GM will be able to, like, the spy master, the head honcho, the supervisor, special agent, will be able to, like, customize how you're brought in based to your specialties, which is just fun. It's just fucking fun. I actually really can't wait to run this and stream this. It's going to be a lot of fucking fun. And I think it's going to be really fun to watch. I think we're going to come up with some really cool heists. I think I'll probably love, like, playing in this, but I would really, really love to GM this for people because I love coming up with heists and shit. So yeah, so you're basically introduced with a narration, little montage sequence of who you are, what you're doing. Think the intro to Ocean's 11 for each character, and the intro to Charlie's Angels, both 1 and 2, where you get to see, like, this is a story of 3 young girls, and then it shows different areas of them being fucking, like, talented and weird and specific, who grew into 3 young women. And then it shows, like, fucking Alex, aka Lucy Liu's character, being a fucking astronaut, and, like, fucking Dylan, aka Drew Barrymore's character being, like, in the army. And then it shows, like, Natalie, like, Cameron Diaz's character being, like, just a genius, which I love for her so much. I love those characters so fucking much. I wanted to be Alex when I was a kid so fucking badly, but I ended up as a perfect mix between fucking Dylan and Natalie. Honestly, and the cool thing is, if you're a fan of a specific movie or franchise, you can use this game to play that fantasy. The big bad evil guy, the villain that I'm creating for this, the overarching villain, is this organization of which very little is known, because that's the whole fucking point. They have eyes everywhere, though. They have eyes everywhere. They see everything. They know. They try to know everything. Very big surveillance type thing. Have their fingers in a lot of different things. People don't even know what they have their fingers in. So and because it's so big and ominous and wide reaching, you can literally make any villain a subsect of this league, you know? And that means that you can also, like, play this, like, longer, shorter. With the actual gameplay structure, I'm thinking 3 phases of play, like 3 acts of a movie. Crew, coming together. The job, going through the job. And the final act, a.k.a. the climax of the movie, where things go to shit and you have to fix it or something. And I think every pre-gen will have a special final act move according to their archetype that they can only use in the 11th hour, like, once. But there is a level of sacrifice, so you might not use it when you play this game. You might not want to. We'll see. And then, yeah, I have this little note that there's going to be little pop-up boxes throughout the game book with, like, spy tips and shit. And little fun facts. Like, now that I know so much about fucking safe cracking, I'm going to be putting shit in there about, like, actual facts about safe cracking. Because, like, little details like that make it really fun. I'm going to have some potential villains listed to belong to this, like, league. You can also have, like, several at a time together if you want to, but I'm going to come up with a villain archetype from each of the same archetypes that the characters you can play as come from, and then they are brought together by the All-Seeing Eye, which is the current, like, working title of the supervillain that I've come up with, who runs this whole organization, this whole big secret thing. And the mission, I'm going to have a bunch of preset, like, plot premise ideas. But you can do whatever the fuck you want. I haven't actually gotten into Lupin the Third at all, and I don't know anything about it, but for some reason, it did not appeal to me. I don't know why. I might watch it with Orion because I think it might be on our list, but I don't remember. The list is very long. I'm very excited to get my way, like, through it, but I also, like, off the cuff cannot remember if that was on there or not, or if that's where I've seen it recently. But I'm very fucking excited about this fucking game. Just looking through. So the crew meeting, coming together, receiving the assignment. I always write receiving wrong. Yep. Now, these are just things that can happen in this phase. They don't have to. I'm just writing that out so that I remember the elements that could come into it. Potential recon. Setup. Now, the job is actual, like, execution. The plan. Potentially also got, like, recon in it if necessary. There's potential for disguises. For like booby traps. Everyone's specialty gets assigned, like maybe a montage. Maybe some NPC interactions. Be cool if I could spell interactions correctly. Or specialty. I don't know what's going on with me today. I think it's because I'm currently on the bed. So the laptop is not at the same height it usually is. Maybe. Nice. I did not know there was a movie. I thought it was just an anime. So I'll keep that one in mind. I am going to start recording stuff for cringe warnings. So it's going to be a minute until I can actually watch stuff just for fun again. Because I want to record the solo episodes sooner. Those were really good ones. I'm so obsessed with this. You guys don't even know. You don't even know how obsessed with this I am. And a UV light. A UV pen. I love. Oh, that reminds me. Gadgets. Fucking list of gadgets. Molar communicators. So those are gadgets to get for the job specifically, maybe? Let's say 2. You get 2. Everybody gets 2 gadgets. According to their archetype. And then potentially you might, maybe I'll add a thing about gadgets specifically for the job itself. Man, these character sheets are going to be big as fuck. Okay. The gadgets are the most fun fucking part, and you get to be so creative. Also, though, the fucking Goldeneye fucking pen, the anxiety that gave me for the longest time, do you even know? Do you even fucking know? The anxiety I had every time I clicked a pen in real life. Me, age fucking 9, sitting in school, clicking a pen, and then having half a panic attack about how many times did I click it. Was it an odd or an even number, and am I going to blow up? Stupid. Stupid. Also, sorry, that thing didn't load in the chat. Huh? Oh. I have not gone to the mailbox today, but I can check after the stream. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. You good, Blue Skies? Might not have loaded. Yeah, thank God. I do have, I have a measure of OCD. And one of my compulsions that used to be really bad was odds and even fucking numbers. And when I tell you, that's just so annoying. I mean, there's not a single aspect about having an obsessive compulsion that isn't fucking annoying. But, like, that one, paired with the fact that I have ADHD is a fucking nightmare because I would get very intense about it, but like internally in my head, never out loud. I knew better than to say that shit out loud. But I have a memory, like a short-term memory, like a fucking goldfish. So I couldn't remember if I'd done something an odd or an even number amount of times. It used to drive me crazy. It used to drive me fucking crazy. Luckily, that particular one's gotten a lot better, but like, oh, fuck me. It's really annoying. I'm right now, as I'm talking, I don't know if you can hear it, probably not. If you can hear it, like motion, my little nails occasionally tapping against it, I'm twirling the pen in my fingers like they do in Goldeneye, which is something I taught myself specifically because of that movie, and I've been doing ever since. It's also been really helpful to me because I've had a lot of injuries, specifically in my hands. So my way to make sure that I was able to really regain mobility is that I would measure my mobility based on how fast I can spin the pen through all of my fingers without dropping it. And I've gotten really good again and pretty fast. It's not as smooth or as coordinated as I'd like, and two of my fingers are a little stiffer than they used to be. But you know, it's okay. It's a lot better than it was, and it's extremely good for the amount of injuries I've had on that hand. So, frankly, I'll take it, and I can continue to spin stuff through my fingers, and hopefully continue to improve again. It's also affected a little bit my ability to do sleight of hand shit with cards, because it's really hard. The hand that I'm talking about, my right hand, has been the wrist, and part of the hand has been broken twice. I've torn completely through the ligament in my thumb. I have torn partially every ligament in every finger at least once. I've broken that elbow twice. And I've had it crushed in a car door. Not to mention several other minor contusions, sprains, etc. For like, I'm constantly injured. Hi, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I've injured this hand a lot. A lot. It's, it is what it is. I can move it. I have arthritis gloves to help with, like, pain and shit. And I have a nice heated blanket. Courtesy. Yeah, well, I used to, quote-unquote, fall down the stairs a lot. So, frankly, I'm quite happy that this is the only thing and that I was able to regain mobility fully every single time in all of my injuries. So, we will count our blessings and be very grateful that I still have so much dexterity in this hand that I can spin pens and shit between each finger very quickly and it doesn't hurt at all. Also, let's be very grateful that the ligament healed completely and entirely and never, ever really hurts anymore. Because at some point, that shit takes so long to heal. I swear to God, everyone who's ever had a ligament injury has had a moment where they're like, it's never going to get better. It's never going to get better again. And, like, yeah, am I more sensitive to cold now? Sure. But I see it, like, I try to frame it like, yeah, had a lot of injuries. But, what's a spy without a few battle scars? It's fine. Plus, like I said, they healed. So, count our stars. Be grateful. And I can still move it. I can also, I used to be able to way better also twirl the pen through my left hand because I'm ambidextrous. But January 2020, I broke both of my wrists. So I lost the mobility in my left hand also. So I had to start over from scratch on that one. And that one is nowhere near as smooth as my right hand because I haven't practiced it as much when it comes to the spinning. But if I do it for a few minutes, I get to a pretty okay speed. It's not the same amount of smoothness, but it works. And it doesn't hurt. So yes, we're grateful. We're happy. I'm trying to see... Because what I don't have for this game yet is mechanics. Because I think with this one, the mechanics should come after the gameplay and the premise. But I do like to keep those relatively simple. I wonder if the gadgets should have their own mechanics. They might. Let me make some mechanics notes. Mechanics notes. Gadgets. I think they should have their own mechanics. And those should be maybe relatively simple. I'm thinking. Ouch. Yeah, yeah. To be fair, when I stretch out that arm, the arm that's been broken twice in the elbow, it can occasionally lock, and that hurts real bad. Real bad. It feels a lot like someone's taking a white hot poker and putting it directly between the bone. That shit is unfucking comfortable. But luckily, it doesn't last much longer than like a minute at most. And then I have to like shake it out a lot and just be real fucking careful with it for a little bit. But I can definitely bend it. I just have to be careful with how I do it. But for sure, yeah. I'm very, very lucky. Most of my injuries were in Germany, where for free, I could just go to physical therapy every week. At most, my copay was $5 per quarter of the year. So for physical therapy for a year, I paid $5, $10, $50, $20. So, and that was for like weekly physical therapy for specifically those injuries. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Very lucky where I got injured, like geographically. So I was able to heal. Unfortunately, the reason that my wrists still give me problems now is because when I broke my wrists in January 2020, I broke my wrists in the United States, and then COVID hit, so I definitely couldn't go anywhere. Not that I would have been able to afford to. I couldn't, but like I wasn't able to do any kind of therapy for these injuries, so they had to heal completely on their own. And oh boy, I try to do my exercises, but there's, you know, a difference between doing it yourself and having a physical therapist. I do have to tell you now, though, in my life, if somebody massages my hands, I'll probably do whatever they ask me to. That is a godsend. That shit is just nice. I'm thinking for actions, a dice pool, like a success pool. I'm thinking of that. It reminds me very much of like the mechanic in the Star Wars TTRPG. And Alien. So I'm thinking dice pool. I'm thinking for actions, like just general actions. A failure, a success, dice pool. I want to say D8s. I want to say four D8s. Ones are crit fails. Cancel out moderate successes. Eights are crit successes. I'd say 5, 6, 7. So 5 to 7 are moderate successes. Oops. Yeah, I'll write that into a table. Let's say 2 to 4. Just straight failures. And then the dice pool. So let's say roll 4 D8s. Got a 1, a 6, a 7, and a 5. So that is 3 successes with 1 cancellation. That's 2 successes. The overwhelming thing is still successes. That's 2 successes. All right. That works. I think that works. 40 12s for chaos. Ugh. Kind of like Vampire the Masquerade. Maybe. I have actually still not really played Vampire the Masquerade. I am going to be playing with my friend May, actually. She was so kind as to invite me to one of her games, I think, home games, for fun. So I think end of January, I will be, so I'll define them. That's a good fucking question. I'll make sure to define them. Let me add a thing. So let me add a definition. Critical successes are, you know what? Instead of moderate successes, let's use the word complicated successes. So, critical successes. An absolute success, and you gain insight or knowledge in the form of a clue. Because what heist spy thing would this be for a clue? Right? I think so. I think that'd be really fun, actually. I really like the statistics for 48s. That's why I wasn't sure. 448s. It's because I think that means you get a clue. And the clue can come in the form of something you have to decode maybe. Or something you have to figure out. I also highly encourage the DMs to be very loose with what it is. If you're asking them to figure something out, if they give you a good enough answer, you should say yes. Even if it's not what you initially had in mind, fucking roll with it. It's cool. Let them feel smart. Let your players feel smart. I really hate when DMs make you feel dumb. And it sounds like an obvious thing to say. And it sounds like, oh, that doesn't happen. Why would anybody do that? But a lot of DMs will actively make people in their party feel stupid. And I hate that because that's not fun. It's also kind of mean. And I know that sounds like very simple language, but you don't need to be complicated if it's not, it's not more complicated than that. Sometimes people are fucking mean. So yeah, so critical successes, you get a clue. And maybe the clue is just an image of a shoe imprint that you should write down because it might be relevant later. Maybe later you'll see insight, or if you don't ask to look for something or investigate something, as an action, then the GM can just be you, because remember you had this clue, you notice that henchman has a raised heel about 4 inches, and you can be like the clue where we found a footprint of a 4-inch deep heel imprint, like that. Hi, welcome to the channel. Thank you for following. And welcome. I am currently designing a spy heist type game based on all of the 2000s things where I wanted to do not say Blue's Clues. Stop. Oh my God. Technically, if you really wanted to, you could adapt this game to be Blue's Clues. You could do that if you put in the effort to adapt it. I'm not doing it. I won't do that for you. But you're allowed to, as always with my games, adapt them however you'd like them to be adapted. Oh, man. Don't. Oh, my God. When I tell you that both Dora and Steve used to get on my last nerve when I was a kid, apparently. So luckily I was a little bit, quote unquote, too old for Dora. So she didn't annoy me as much as I was actually able to watch it and be engaged with it. But apparently when I was 2, I would have half a fucking conniption watching Blue's Clues. But I would refuse to let them change the channel. And this is the most me story I could possibly tell. People are what's a story from when you were a kid that perfectly sums you up? This is it. Listen up. I used to watch Blue's Clues, and my parents would try to change the channel because it fucking stressed me out. Actively stressed me out. And they could tell that I was stressed out, but I wouldn't let them change the channel because I thought Steve could actually hear me because he is asking you for help finding something that's right fucking behind him, and I would be in front of the TV on both feet standing the whole time, as I do when I'm stressed. I still do that, by the way. If I'm stressed out, I cannot sit down. I have to walk around. A few weeks ago, something really stressful happened, and my phone said that I stress paced 5 miles in my apartment in about 2 hours. So that's stuck with me. But I used to stand in front of the TV, talking to the TV slowly as I could, very much like it's right there. It's right there. It's right there. Honestly, yeah, it was baby Brandy, fucking 2 years old, standing in front of the thing. Oh, this is a tabletop RPG. I'm a game designer. This is the beginning of the game design. I'm a game designer. So this is the very beginning of a game. And I will be, this is just the game book. We're not playing this. I'm designing it. If we were playing it, I would have put it in the tabletop thing. Oh, if yours is. Yeah, absolutely. Look, if you can print it out and play it, it's a tabletop RPG. There's a thing of, yeah, exactly. Biggest question, are you having fun? Fuck yeah. That's a really important thing. So yeah, it can be a tabletop RPG. You can call it a solo TTRPG. That's a category. Solo TTRPGs are super popular. But yeah, basically, apparently, what it was explained to me was that I would watch Blue's Clues. They would ask if I should turn it off. I'd say no, but I'd be exasperated. Like, this was my 40-hour-a-week job. And when they asked me why, I said, because he needs help. So I'm gonna help him. And the implication is, like, I'm gonna help him, even if I am fucking losing my mind here, trying to help this man who is very clearly not listening to me. And that's TBH the most me story from when I was a kid. And you could technically adapt this. You could technically adapt this to fit Blue's Clues. Can't believe you fucking said that. But yeah, so I'll make sure to put a definition for all of those, because I don't want anybody to ever play a game and be new and not know what a term means, and then not be able to feel like they can play the game. Straight failures. Motherfucker. Every time. Right or wrong, every time. Well, you don't have to print it out. I just mean, technically you could. So you could technically put it on a table and play it if you wanted to be super literal. But yeah, absolutely. It's basically the same as a journaling thing, except a solo TTRPG. Because a lot of solo TTRPGs are played either just out loud, where you don't write anything down. If you don't want to call it a TTRPG, you could still say that it's a solo RPG. But yeah, there are solo TTRPGs that you play entirely digitally, you just play entirely in a sheet. That's totally normal. There's a fuck ton of them on itch. I actually reviewed several over the last season so far, that's still running, of my podcast Eat Crit on solo episodes where I review games. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you use paper, you use Beyond, you can use a spreadsheet, you can set out loud. There's that really fun one, Kick Rocks, where you literally take a walk and you play by walking and literally kicking a rock, and using that, how it kicks and falls to determine, the questions you answer, how you play, or how things go. But yeah, there are a lot of solo RPGs that are like that. Most people never print out my games, as I wouldn't expect them to. And you play them, out loud. You just play them out loud in your head, or you can write them down on paper, or you can write them in a spreadsheet. Doesn't matter. A spreadsheet is basically just a digital piece of paper. Yeah, it's literally called Kick Rocks. There's also a vampire version called Kick Garlic. Let me grab, I think I might have... where's my phone? Because I have it saved somewhere. But yeah, it should be called Kick Rocks. And then there's Kick Garlic. Where is my fucking... I swear to God, this is the worst thing about, working on your bed, is that, you misplace everything immediately. There we go. But yeah, very good game. 10 out of 10. Very fun. I actually reviewed Kick Garlic for Eat Crit. I don't know if that episode's out yet, though. But good, yes. It is fucking hilarious. What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show, is really funny. The movie that it's based off of, a fun movie that I highly recommend if you haven't seen it yet. I am a big vampire person. I mean, not bigger than like other characters. I'm more of a werewolf lover myself. Simply because I've never wanted to be a vampire, because being immortal has never appealed to me. If anything, I think the concept is kind of fucked up and like scary, like very cosmic horror for me. But yeah, it's really good. I really like What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show. It's really funny. And boy, do I know some emotional vampires in real life. Some energy vampires. I know some bitches that are definitely energy vampires. Just for the chat, I'm going to grab. So the designer for Kick Garlic is at Cherry Drop on Twitter. Designed Kick Garlic. Just going to pop that in the chat. Really cool. Says Charu. And Charu is a really cool game designer whose games I really like. And I had a lot of fun, like, reviewing that game. I think it's actually already out. That Eat Crit episode is already out. Also, by the way, for people that, like, you know, like Eat Crit and are listening to it, I know the last 2 guested episodes have not come out on time. It's having some technical difficulties because I moved all of my shit to different clouds and then had a hell of a time fucking finding everything to make sure it uploads on time. So the next 2 guested episodes will be dropping within the next few days, as I have time to sit down and fucking fix that shit. And then they'll be dropping together back to back. So, like, my bad. Sorry about that. Will come out quickly. Also very cool, little fun note, because Volley Boys is a really fun game made by somebody I very much admire. And it looks like Rue, so the designer for Kick Garlic, is actually the editor, one of the editors for Volley Boys, and that is fucking cool. I love how intertwined this whole community is. It's really great. Oh, so Jobber, you just sent me a link on Twitter. I grew up with Star Kid, Team Star Kid. I've been watching since their very first musicals, and I have seen the musical Spies Are Forever 5 times. And I bought the soundtrack on my old iPod in like 2018. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Spies Are Forever is a really fun musical. I really love. Thank you, Mitzi. I forgot that I can ask you to get links for me, please. Thank you. 10 out of 10. People should follow Rue. Their stuff's really cool. They're very talented and they're very nice. I really look forward to hopefully having them on the next season of Eat Crit. Because, like, 10 out of 10. Extremely talented individual. Very much looking forward to testing more of their games in the future as well. So yeah, I'm thinking actions have a dice pool. Critical failure means an absolute failure with unintended consequences. That's just more fun to role play. So a straight failure is basically like, let's say you're trying to plant a game. Aw, Mincy, thank you. You're my lovely favorite. Thank you very much. You're a really great mod. So yeah, so basically, exactly. So if you're trying to plant a bug on somebody and you roll a critical failure, they fucking notice is like an example of how you could do that. They fucking notice you, or they notice the bug. And it gets more difficult from there. If it's a straight failure, your bug doesn't land, but they didn't notice. You can maybe try again. If it's a complicated success, you did plant the bug, you were successful in the action, but there will be an unintended consequence of your action for example, maybe it like accidentally like got up. maybe you accidentally planted the bug like on something that can come off, which is not great, or like it'll follow them more than you wanted it to, or maybe it like will tail both them and somebody else, like depending on like what you want. And then an absolute success is, yeah, you planted the bug successfully and here's what you learned, like in a little extra specific thing because it just went so well. Also, yes, thank you. You should absolutely follow me on Twitter because I tweet a lot of. So here's the thing. I now like I'm signed to like some shows and stuff like that, which like, and I'm signed with like a talent agent and shit. So my Twitter feed has been integrated into some official rosters and shit. And now I have to be careful what I fucking say because I don't think I can get away with tweeting the way that I did at the beginning of last year, where several times. I mean, it's good. I'm really proud. This is really good for me. But one of my most famous tweets, which is, and I can say it verbatim because I've said it many times, and a lot of you have probably heard me say it, that if My Hero Academia were real, it would take the entire Hero Commission to physically pull me off of Fat Gum's dick. So, can I still say that? Yes. Can I still say that on my shows? Yes. Should I tweet it to a roster that is integrated to several companies I work with? No. Probably not. Is it gonna get me fired? No. Because it's a harmless thing to say. It's just stupid. Is it embarrassing? Yes. Yes. I don't know how to do commands yet. But I will figure that out. It's because I don't use Streamlabs. I use Twitch fucking Studio Beta. And so I haven't quite figured out exactly how that works here yet, but I will figure that out eventually. It's on my list of things to figure out in Twitch, including how to make fucking VODs subscriber only. I'm trying, you guys. But Google is massively unhelpful when it comes to Twitch because it'll lead you to things that haven't been Twitch-like interfaces since 2018. Yeah, no, it really was quite the journey. You're welcome. The exit is on your left. Try not to be sick outside of the appropriate, like, provided bags. And we hope you come again. Yeah, it's a lot. I still tweet quite candidly. But I do also tweet like a lot about game design. Like how I had my idea. You lock the door and make people witness the tweets. You can do what I did, or what Livia claims that I did. So on one of my shows, it's co-hosted with a friend of mine, Livia. And she's my best friend, and she is the funniest person I've ever met in my entire life. And the newest episode, by the way, is already dropped for Intricate Rituals, dropped at midnight last night. It's almost as unhinged as the first one was for this like volume that we're releasing. That's all about Haikyuu. And in the episode that aired a week ago, I casually, as a joke, I mentioned that like technically I kind of coerced Livia into watching Haikyuu. Like I bullied her into doing it. Like I just fully misrepresented the anime to her to get her to watch it so that we could do the episodes and so that I could talk to her about it, as you do with your friends. And I just kind of spammed her for weeks. Every time a TikTok came across, a fanfic, a piece of fan art, whatever, I would send it to her. I bombarded this bitch with shit. And I was saying, like, technically, I feel like I kind of blackmailed you into, like, I just kind of bombarded you into watching this. And out loud, she went, you came to my house. You sent me anthrax letters in the mail. You kidnapped my loved ones. And I lost it on the recording. I could not breathe. I didn't know she was going to say that. It was so fucking funny. She is so funny. Actually, let me pull up, because I have the clip. I will pull up the clip for you guys to hear. I will pull that shit the fuck up immediately. Let me grab it. I will hold it up to the microphone. You will tell me if you can hear it. I think you can. So the podcast is called Intricate Rituals. It is available on, well, you might have, if you're on the Instagram, you might have heard it on the Instagram. If you're not on the Instagram, you might have heard it on my Twitter, because I posted a little sound bite to my Twitter, but now I have to see if I fucking know where any of my shit is. Okay. I just don't have a concept of a calendar. That's good to know about yourself. So yeah. By saying that I bullied Livia into watching Haikyuu by wearing her down with both
psychological torture.
Yeah.
And
It's basically waterboarding into watching this show.
I did send you. I bombarded Livia with Haikyuu TikToks and Haikyuu pictures and Twitter. I bombarded you on Twitter. I sent you texts. I sent you links. I sent you.
You showed up
TikToks.
at my house. You sent me anthrax letters in the mail. You started kidnapping my loved ones.
Yeah, so that happened. That happened on that episode. It also gets referenced again, by the way, in the newest episode that came out. And everybody should watch it. Everybody should absolutely watch it. It's very good. I will actually drop the link to it here because I think I actually have it. Let me just grab it. I mean, it worked. Yeah. So here's the thing. She won't fucking finish it, which is fucking fair. If anything, I think she's at this point further in it than I was. Because I also didn't tell her that I haven't finished Haikyuu. I just know everything that happens because I know everything that happens in the manga because it's already done. But I haven't actually finished watching the animation. Didn't tell her that. I also didn't tell her that Iwaoi are not main characters, and I didn't tell her that Sakuatsu are barely animated and that they're not actually in the show that much and that they don't go to the same school. I didn't tell her that. So I was sending her Sakuatsu stuff and Iwaoi, and she was really hyped, and then she was confused as fuck when she started watching it. We're like, who are all of these bitches? Where is Iwaoi? I was like, they're not main characters. And she was like, what? And I was like, Todd, it's okay, you'll get to see them soon. She loves Nekoma, I think, the most. I think that's her favorite school, is her favorite characters. She really likes Akashi. Yeah, I know. I'm horrible. But I was like, fucking, I need you to watch this. I need you to be in this with me so I can share this with you. And we do have fun talking about Haikyuu a lot, like, privately. We send each other memes and stuff, too. But, like, she also can't remember a single character's name outside of, like, maybe 4 of the main cast. So the entire this new episode that just came out was me naming characters and then choking because I could see her face and she just looked distraught and how many fucking people there are. And she was like, I don't fucking know their names. Like, I don't know who these bitches are. And then she will remember them with the weirdest little monikers. Like, she only knows who Hanamaki is because she says, the one with the turf bangs. Oh my fucking God. Because she doesn't like his haircut. She doesn't like Hanamaki's haircut. And I'm like, you know what? That's fucking valid. I'm taking a screenshot of that and texting it to her. She is gonna fucking lose it. She will, without a doubt, 100% agree with you. That's it. The absolute top of trail in real life was me pretending Sakuatsu was A, canon, and B, a main character in pairing, including Iwaoi. It's a main character in pairing. And not warning her at all, like, about anybody that's in Kurosno. Didn't say shit about that. I also told her that there was a lesbian because I personally believe Yachi is a lesbian, but, like, canonically it doesn't say whether or not Yachi is a lesbian. So eventually, somewhere along the episodes, I also mentioned how I told her, I think it might be that first one that came out a week ago. I think I told her, like, oh yeah, I remember I also told you there was a lesbian, and, like, that was kind of a lie. And she was like, no, there's Yachi. And I was like, well, I mean, Yachi's who I meant, but she's not canonically confirmed to be, like, a lesbian. And she was like, yeah, but look at her, she's a lesbian. I was like, you know what, I'll give it to you. You're right. You're fucking right. You're absolutely correct. But yeah, those are some good episodes. They're really funny. And then Livia, she's just fucking hysterical, always. All right, so let's see. Actions. Have a failure, success pool. Days pool. Kind of like Alien. Gadgets have their own mechanic. I think codes and ciphers. I think maybe you are allowed to actually do them in real life. To try to solve them in real life. Or, if you don't want to do that, you can roll. Because I know some people aren't I mean, I don't understand why people would. I mean, there is, and that there's a reason for that. It's because you're not allowed to. So when it comes to production, you might really enjoy the episode of Cringe Warning where we say. So the episode of Cringe Warning is, I think, called. Fuck me. Wait. Let me look it up before I tell you the wrong fucking episode of my own show. But Livia's been a guest on Cringe Warning several times. And there is an episode in the most recent season that is called, Is It Gay to Get a Good Night's Sleep? Is It Gay to Get a Good Night's Sleep is specifically about queerness in sports anime. And the thing about it is, A, you have to understand that it's a completely different culture. They do not have the same openness culture, quote unquote, about that kind of stuff. And if it is queer, canonically, it's marketed as a BL. For marketing purposes and the way things are structured over there, you cannot double genre. There is no BL mecha. There is no, like, mecha isekai. It has to be, because of the way that things are distributed and published, it has to be one genre, one only. And if it is gay, it's a BL. Marketing budgets and budgets for production in general for BLs are not even a fraction of what they are for other anime. Sports anime, however, are an extremely popular genre that get massive marketing budgets. So our hypothesis was at first like that queer anime are often a Trojan horse of ways to tell queer stories without canonically making anybody queer, and that's to evade censorship. Technically, Yuri on Ice is a sports anime and not a BL because they aren't actually allowed to focus on the queerness so much, but they are canonically gay, and that was a really big thing. But you have to know, Yuri on Ice did not get a big budget. They had a tiny budget. They just lied to a lot of people and overshot their budget because they had faith in their project, and they got into a lot of shit, which is also one of the reasons, possibly, by the way, why when you watch Yuri on Ice, it seems like the pacing is a little all over the place, and it's very likely that they were threatened to be shut down several times as they were making the show and didn't know whether or not they'd be able to continue. And that's also one of the reasons why there is no second season of Yuri on Ice. Like, there will also never be a second season of Yuri on Ice, even though they had initially said that they wanted to do one. And, like, there is, like, a thing at the end of the original show indicating there would be a second season. It's also the same reason why Ice Adolescence has been in development hell or development purgatory for, like, fucking 9 years, something like that, fucking forever. And it won't get out of it is because, like, that, they will not market that shit. They will not get the budget for that. It's canonically queer. It's widely known canonically queer. They probably will not get the budget to do that. There is no money for that. Absolutely. Draw them as gay. Do what they want. But, like, yeah. So, a lot of... And also, when you look behind the creators of a lot of sports anime, a lot of mangaka started off drawing doujinshi. Like, they started off drawing fan manga. Gay fan manga of their favorite characters. The creator of Given, Natsuki Kizu, used to draw Haikyuu doujinshi for Iwaoi. And based the character design, unofficially, but based a lot of the character design, you can compare her work and see it, of the characters of Given to the fandom versions of some OCs that she had, of course, and, like, there's a lot of similarities visually to Haikyuu and the way that she used to draw Haikyuu characters. It's very common for sports anime creators to have worked in and created media that was queer, but if you don't do the indie publishing route, then you get your shit neutered and censored to hell. Then it's just the system as it is over there. That's just how the funding works. And as we saw with queer sports anime, there is a queer sports anime that's canonically trans and queer, and that is Stars Align. Stars Align is the most progressive, healthy anime, period, with queerness. It is the only time I have ever seen healthy queer representation in an anime. Is the anime about as scarring and brutal as Fruits Basket? Absolutely. But nobody is ever a victim because they're queer. Ever. They say the words trans man, and they say the words non-binary, and they have characters saying, I'm pretty sure I'm non-binary. and they have characters like talking about it in a healthy way, and it is accepted, and it is never played off as a joke, and it is never played off for laughs, and it is extremely healthy. And what happened to Stars Align? It got its funding pulled shortly after that. Shortly after that episode, it got the funding pulled. And it's an original project. There's no manga for Stars Align. It's an original project. And the creator of Stars Align cares very deeply about the project and has for years now, since it got canceled, been lobbying to get the funding to finish it. And Stars Align is a very popular anime. Like, it was very well beloved. But he has not been able to secure funding to do the last 10 episodes of the season. So the season isn't finished. The season ends on a cliffhanger because it's only half done. There's supposed to be, if I remember correctly, 24 episodes, and I think there's only like 13. So yeah, it's very unfortunate. It's also very common. And also why, like, Banana Fish is not a BL. Categorically, it's a psychological thriller anime. Like, it's a thriller and like a scary, like, it's an anime, it's a psychological thriller. It's not marketed as a BL, and they are not explicitly said to be queer or to be in love, because then it would be a BL, and you can't do both. But the creator of Banana Fish has worked on several other sports anime. Friends are all dice! Hello, baby! Thank you for rating! Hi everybody. Hi. I'm thank you. Aw, see, hi, hello. I love you too. Hi, Mer. Hi, everybody. You guys came just, technically I'm designing a game, but I just went off on a little TED Talk about funding for anime and queerness in sports anime. I accidentally went on a little TED Talk. Sorry. Hi, hello, welcome, come in. This is what happens. I go off on tangents. We're working on a spy heist game. But hi, hello. Big shout out, big love. Thank you very much. I'll send you a raccoon. Here, let me send you a beautiful little emoji. Actually, I would if Twitch Studios was fucking working. I know. We'll figure out commands together. We'll figure it out. I trust you. We'll get there. I'm just trying to make my little Twitch studio come back. Twitch, for the love of fuck, would you please? Would you say it extends anime into live action shows and games from Japan? Yeah. It's just a production thing. Anime, of course, is also, you have to consider, like, they have a whole ministry for anime. Like, it has specific purposes and goals. So, yeah, it probably goes in, it does actually, it for sure goes into live action shows, in Japan as well. It's the same process of funding and censorship and the genre, like, rigidness of not being able to, like, multi-class, quote unquote, a show. Like, you can't have a mecha isekai. It has to be a mecha or isekai. It can't be a mecha isekai, which is such a loss. Can you imagine how fucking fun that would be? Fucking mecha isekai. Yeah, so it's very common to be able to get those through, specifically because of the mass, like, marketing potential there is to Fujoshi. Hi, Ren. The Fujoshi market, which is extremely lucrative, like, fiscally, it's a very lucrative market, and they don't necessarily care about it being canon, so the market is typically satisfied with it being implied. And that's about as close to telling queer stories as you can often get in those types of media, just because otherwise it won't get past the censorship laws, and you can have your show defunded. And you can have your show defunded in the middle of the show. They do not give a fuck, as we've seen with Stars Align. So yeah, there's a lot more to it. So when people are, like, saying, like, oh, I think this sports anime is, like, a lot of queer characters, you are entirely potentially correct. There is absolutely no reason that can't be true, and that is actually potentially consciously done that way. It's just not confirmed canon or consummated physically, because then you would have to qualify it as a BL, and then it wouldn't get funding or marketing. And then, you know, you'd get the show to be canceled. So yeah, that's a thing that happens. And we elaborated heavily on the episode, is it gay to get a good night's sleep, on Cringe Warning. Yeah, I'm sure. There's a lot of series that'll have stuff like that, and it's really, really popular. I mean, it's also really popular in general. It doesn't have to be just in like anime or like live action like Japanese series or J-dramas or whatever, but it is common, and that's how a lot of that stuff works. But TBH, that's how a lot of stuff works in fucking Hollywood too. So back to the mechanics, just so you guys know. For this one, I do want there to be codes and ciphers you can do. Gang getting enough sleep? That does sound fake, says the lesbian with insomnia. Who was up until, 3, 4 something in the morning learning how to crack safes. You know, that sounds about right. that sounds about me. And I learned a lot, let me fucking tell you what. I know how to crack several types of safes. Yeah, pretty much. Hi. Hi. Ooh, that's a cool username. Hi, hello. Welcome. What is the sorcery of good sleep? So the thing is, typically I have to sleep for 9 hours, and I naturally tend to sleep for 9 hours. The problem is my body, because of the narcolepsy, doesn't always decide to do that at night or all in one go. But it doesn't matter, because even if I get 9 hours of sleep, I will still feel like I haven't slept in 3 days, because that's what having narcolepsy does. But for codes and ciphers, I know I love cracking a good code, and I've been doing that for fun. I love a word jumble, and you can make it really easy. Like, if you're jamming this, you can make it really easy. That's totally fine. But I know that not everybody will want to do that, especially like live on stream or anything. So I think if you don't want to solve the clue IRL, I think you should be allowed to like get around it with like a dice roll if you'd like to try your luck instead. Words on stream, what's that? So like word jumbles? I love word jumbles. I do love a word jumble. I really do. I like word games. I've never played Scrabble, but I think I'd be good at it. I think I'd be fucking good at it. Let me write that down. You can play with your viewers. Oh, fuck yeah. I love playing games with you guys. That sounds fucking dope. Let me write that down. Words on stream. I'll probably text you about that later if I can't figure out how to set it up myself. Oh my god, would you guys want to do game nights? I'd love to do game nights with you guys instead of just game design nights like this one. I'd love to do game nights with you guys. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh god. Look, before we play Among Us together, it's good that you got me, but like I have to warn you. My affliction, my my other chronic illness, situational bimbo syndrome, really comes out heavy playing Among Us. The first 10 times I played Among Us, I didn't realize that the rooms had names. Did I disappear? Fuck no, I'm right here. I hope I didn't disappear for you guys. But I didn't realize the rooms had names. And people would be like, okay, where were you? And I'd be like, well, I took a left. And then I went down. And they'd be like, that sounds sus. And I'd be like, but that's what I did. And then they'd be like, oh, I went to this room. And I'd be like, the fuck do you know what the fuck your room names are called? They'd be like, that's really sus. That's sus. That's sus. And I'm like, it's not sus. I'm stupid. Please. What do you mean? And then I looked at the screen properly. I don't wear glasses. I really should. I will soon. I took a left. Please. And I'm so earnest about it too. I was like, I took a left. And then it was dark, and they'd be like, okay, what task did you do? And I'd be like, the one with the cards. They'd be like, you don't know what it's called. And I was like, do they have names? They'd be like, that's sus. You can't see the task. I'm like, no, I did. I literally was doing the one with the cards, and it took me a really long time because I didn't know how to do it because I've never played this before. So I was trying really hard. I was trying to do the card. It was like, you don't know. You're lying. And I was like, I'm not lying. I'm stressed out and I'm stupid. What do you mean they have names? I still don't know the names. I have some cards. What? Please. You know how many times I get killed and I'm not the imposter? It's so mean. I get killed all the time because I don't understand. Oh no. Well, I'm glad you unmuted me. But yeah, I straight up, I was just so fucking, stressed out. But I was having a lot of fun. But I was like, I don't understand. What do you mean? Why? What do you mean? They're like, I was in the control room. I was like, is that the room we came from? And they'd be like, you should really know. Can you not see it? And I was like, no, I don't know where to look. So playing Among Us with me is always a whole ride, a whole experience. It's a lot like watching me play GTA. It's a lot like me playing GTA, and it just, which, like, I don't know if you can really say that I play Grand Theft Auto, because I play more like small larceny bicycle, is what I should probably call the streams when I play GTA, because the first time I played GTA, I played for 5 hours, and I didn't steal a single car, because I didn't know how to do it, and I leveled up like 5 times on my bicycle, guys. That's so fucking embarrassing. But it was so funny. But I was like, oh man, this is so fucking bad. It was really embarrassing. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Boy, am I glad that stream wasn't like that. That first time I was like, I'm really glad I didn't stream that. That's really embarrassing. I also died in the first 5 minutes, which is why I played so long and I didn't do anything. It's because I died, and when you die, they send you to the hospital. No bikes, and it wasn't grenades. It wasn't just grenades. It was grenades. It was guns. You had them firing shit at me. That's my fault, though. The grenades were my bad. Mitzi was watching me play listening to me play GTA, and was like, "Do you want cheat codes?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, hit me with whatever, like roulette me, like just hit me with a cheat code." And then Mitzi was so kind as to be like, "Do you want them to have grenade launchers?" And I thought them was me. And I went, fuck yeah, I want to have grenade launchers. So Mitzi gave me the code, and I put it in, and then immediately died because everyone near me started shooting at me with grenade launchers, and I died instantly. And it took me so long of just screaming and panicking to stop them because I couldn't type fast enough into the game to deactivate that cheat code, because they kept killing me before I could finish putting it in, and it kept fucking resetting, and I kept having to start over. So that was sure fucking something. That was a lot. Small larceny bicycle is exactly what I will call those fucking streams. Yeah, please stop shooting the fuck out of me. I'm fucking dying. Yeah, it was a lot. Those streams were a lot. Small larceny bicycle and my constant Among Us disasters. They're a lot. Also, this is also not relevant to the game I'm designing, but since I have you guys here, I don't have plans this Valentine's Day. I was flying around uncontrollably, and I didn't know how to get back down, and I didn't know what to do, and I just kind of, you know what? I was just kind of waiting out to, like, die. Thank you. I am glad that was fun. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a whole experience. There was a lot of panic involved. So I don't have Valentine's Day plans, but I really love it because it's my favorite holiday. So I was thinking about spending Valentine's Day with you guys, and here are the plans. All right, so hear me out. In the morning, noon. Don't make me get up early. I'm not fucking doing that shit. But in the noon. So at the start of my day, so it's the 14th, it's a Monday. I know if you guys might work, which is why I'm doing streams throughout the day, because I know some people are in, like, America's time zone, and they have to work and shit. But I'd say around, like, noon to 1. Yeah, so time in your region. Around noon to 1-ish, like, around that time it'll start, for MDT. I'm thinking we play dating sims, we play games, we get a romantic video gamey. We might end up defaulting and playing Dream Daddy. We'll fucking see. Maybe by then I'll have Boyfriend Dungeon. That'd be really fucking fun. That game's really popular, and I've heard a lot about it, and I'm really curious about it, but I haven't played it. Mitzi, don't. I mean, yes, but I will literally be live, like, throughout the day. It's okay. Then I will take it, so I'll probably stream that for like 2-3 hours, and then I will take a quick break, and then in the evening, around like 1800 hours my time, so 6 p.m., sorry, I forgot you guys are probably American, at least some of you, we're going to be doing an Eat Your Heart Out stream, so that's going to be a dinner date. I will get my curry, my chicken coconut curry, and I will eat with you guys, and we will chat, and while I am eating and we are chatting, we will be designing a little Valentine's Day game. That's okay. I'll have, like, VODs up and shit, probably. So So as I eat, we will be designing. I will not eat actual hearts unless you count curry as a heart somehow. I mean, my heart's probably made of curry at this point. Most of me is probably made out of curry at this point. It's kind of the only thing that I eat. Is like chicken coconut curry is the only meal that I actually eat and can eat without like my body trying to, hit its expiration date. So I will be making my coconut chicken curry, and we will have a dinner date, and we will chat, and you guys can eat if you want to. You don't have to. But it will it's not really a mukbang because it's a normal amount of fucking food. But like, I will be eating here my dinner with you guys while we work on maybe a like Valentine's-y kind of game. We'll see. Maybe we'll even play it together. Or maybe instead of designing a game, we'll see what we do. We'll eat and play some games together on stream. Maybe we'll fucking play that word thing. And then, so that'll go for like 2 hours. Give me time to eat and talk at the same time. Full disclosure, I will do my best to have good manners. Can't guarantee that'll happen. I get very excited and yeah. So I'll do my best, but like, yeah. No worries. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Ooh, voice. It's my sign to grab my water. And then in the evening, I'd say like 8:30 MDT. So give me another like 10 minutes between the streams, 20 minutes to like grab water, refresh, and I'll get changed because for the dinner date, I will get all fancy and nice. I will get cute for you guys, cuter than usual. I will do my hair. I will wear a dress. I will fully get ready for this dinner date. Like I will treat this as a very real date. I will get super nice and super cute and pretty, and I will smell very nice even though you can't smell me. It's the thought that counts. So I'll get really pretty and cute for our little dinner date. I will spoil you for Valentine's Day. You bet your ass. And that you're all going to be my Valentines, whether you fucking like it or not. I grew up with my parents telling me that I was their Valentine, and then telling me that, like, my friends and I could be each other's Valentines. So I've never seen it as an inherently romantic holiday. I just think it's a great way to celebrate being loved and loving people that are in your life. So that's how I've always treated it. And we will be having... also, dates are fucking fun. And I'm not a very, like, I'm on the more aromantic spectrum of things. I like dates and stuff, but I am allergic to monogamy. I don't do things more in the, typical fashion. I'm very selective. So I like dating. Or, like, I like going on dates. But I usually just do that shit with friends. It's just nice. It's a nice experience. So we will have a dinner date. I will get all nice and dolled up for you guys. And then we will have a movie date to close out the day. I'll do like an Amazon Prime watch party here on Twitch. And I will get comfy. Still cute. It's still a date. I will put effort in still. But it'll be a much more like cozy. Maybe a big shirt. We could do big shirt. Big shirt. Maybe one of my many Hello Kitty little headbands or some shit. Maybe we'll do some self-care together. Hi, welcome. Thank you. So maybe this will be a nice little... It's not going to be a 12-hour stream, please. Well, I mean, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 hours total throughout the day with little breaks. So we'll do a movie date stream. And I'll pick out some movies shortly beforehand to see what's going to be on Amazon Prime. So the day before, I'll probably have a poll up on my Twitter where you guys can help vote for what movie we're going to watch. What movie we're going to watch on our nice Valentine's Day date. So that'll be around like 8:30 p.m. MDT. And we'll do some self-care. We'll have a cozy like Netflix and chill kind of date, except it'll be Amazon Prime and the chilling will be literal. And we're going to have some nice snacks. I'll make some popcorn. I do like candy, but I have celiac, so I don't really... There's not a lot of candy I can actually still have, which is tragic. But I think there are some types of gummies that are celiac friendly. So if I can get my hand on those, because I love gummies. Like, I fucking love. Haribo cherries are my favorite candy. And I think they're gluten-free, but I don't know. So I will try to figure it out. And maybe I'll get lucky and I'll be able to get my hands on some nice candies. And then we will have a movie date in the evening. How does that sound for everybody for Valentine's Day? Because I'm really, really hyped for that stream. We will get back to the game design in a second. I just thought of it, and while I have so many of you here, I figured I'd fucking ask and tell you guys. It'll be in the schedule too, though. I'm gonna put it in the Twitch schedule so you guys will be able to see it as like a planned like event day. I know I don't always schedule the streams, but that's because sometimes they have, like, usually currently they have to be spontaneous because of my schedule. But I'm looking forward to it because I fucking love Valentine's Day plans. I love Valentine's Day. Also, I want everybody to take a moment to just clap, please, because I had to get groceries yesterday, and that means I had to go to Walmart. And you know what Walmart's full of? Giant fucking teddy bears. You know what I didn't buy? A giant fucking teddy bear. Do you know what I wanted to buy? A giant fucking teddy bear. Actually, that's a lie. What I wanted to buy was several giant fucking teddy bears. They're very soft. They're usually super cute. They're fucking huge. A lot of them are fucking pink, and I like them a lot. I don't care if they're tacky. I actually kind of like tacky shit. I like kitschy shit. I like tacky shit. I've always been big on that stuff. I think it's really cute. Also, pink and red is my favorite color combination and has always been my favorite color combination. I don't need it to be February. I will constantly walk around IRL dressed in some combination of vibrant reds and pinks. That's just how I dress. But in Valentine's Day times, nobody says anything about it. So just like, oh, you're dressed for Valentine's Day. And I just go, yep. But if you told me in July, oh, you're dressed for Valentine's Day. Also true. Yes, absolutely. I love hearts. I loved heart-shaped shit. I think that shit is just fucking cool. I really like it. Perfect. Oh, but you do know what my plans are for the 15th? I'm going to go to the grocery stores, and I'm going to get a lot of teddy bears, maybe. Oh, fine. I'll get a teddy bear, maybe. I will get a teddy bear. Because those fucking $40 ass, huge, pink, like, fluffy teddy bears are, like, $5 after Valentine's Day because they have so many left over. So, I will treat myself. I will spoil myself. I'll give myself a little Valentine's Day thing. I also unironically wear heart-shaped jewelry, but not like that shit that's like advertised for jewelers, because that shit really is too kitschy for me. And usually kind of old-fashioned in a not cute way. I'm not a big fan of that shit, but I do have a lot of like more Y2K heart-shaped jewelry. I think I have several pairs of heart-shaped earrings as well as several heart-shaped necklaces. To be fair, half of those are vintage. But vintage, like 90s vintage. Not, vintage. Although some of them are vintage, TBH. But I will be decked the fuck out, head to toe, in Valentine's Day gear. I will outfit change 3 times. Because I'll be dressed more casually, but still very aggressively Valentine's-y. For the gaming stream in the morning-ish. Morning-ish. Noon-ish. First stream of the day-ish. And then I will get nice and decked out for the dinner date, as you do. And then I will get very nice, cute, and cozy for the movie date. I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Every day is Valentine's if you try hard enough. Absolutely. It's a mindset. I really like it. For some people, it's Christmas. For me, it's Valentine's Day. That's the holiday I wait for all year long. I like Valentine's Day more than my birthday. To be fair, the whole world reacts to Valentine's Day typically. Whole world doesn't necessarily know when my birthday is. So Valentine's Day is typically more fun. Although I am kind of looking forward to my birthday this year because for my birthday this year, I will be in California. Because I'll have moved by then. Ideally. I should. I don't see why not. But I'm excited. Super, super excited. And by then, maybe even by Valentine's Day, maybe this game will be done and out. I don't know yet. I do want to have examples for codes and ciphers, but I do want to leave it open for people to make their own. I'm probably going to include a link maybe to a cipher wheel or maybe one that you can print out. I really like interactive stuff. I wonder if there must be online cipher wheels that you can interact with. There's no way there's no cipher wheel simulators. So I'll probably add those to the game when I'm looking at codes and ciphers. So codes, there's ciphers. Maybe there should just be a subsect of clues. And then there's maybe there's details as a type of code. Type of clue. Some types of clues. You know, I think just for work purposes, I'm gonna have to rewatch yet again every spy movie I've ever seen. Period. Feel like that'll be necessary. Feel like that's smart. Feel like that's just something I have to do for, you know, for work, for this game. I think I should just watch Charlie's Angels again. 80 times is probably a good number, probably enough. Not to mention the fact that I just watched it like 2 months ago, maybe. We'll see. There are more spy movies out there. I was in the middle of watching The Vault last night, but I fell asleep. So I need to finish that, technically. I totally forgot about that. I'll probably finish that tonight. Let's see. So codes, ciphers. So let's say codes as in like there's Morse. There's alternative alphabets, potentially. Let's look up some codes, some secret codes. Maybe I should look up secret codes for kids. Sure. Let's make this fucking simple. Book cipher would be a bit difficult for you guys to do since you don't know what books people have in their fucking house. That code cipher is that works. That one, I forgot what that one's called. Get away from me. Order of what? Go away. Okay. Yeah, that one can't replicate super easily. Book cipher would have to be in-game only, which is not necessarily a deal breaker. Or it would just require more prep. But, like, the likelihood of us having the same, like, edition of a book is not great. Cipher wheel is probably going to be the thing that I use the most. Because I can give you guys a link to it, and I can also make one that's print-outable. Because those are pretty easy to make. Number coding. Number coding's pretty easy if you just use, and you can also just use like straight up their associations of with the alphabet. It doesn't have to be random. Number coding. That's potential. That could be done. Pigpen cipher. I can also give the keys for these, like for the Pigpen cipher, if I have that in the rulebook. Yeah, in the rulebook, I'm gonna be using. You know, it's possible. I'd have to make sure everybody was using the same type though, because there's 2 versions of this rulebook. You'll get this version, the plain text version, once it's nice and neat. Then you'll have the actual like pretty PDF gamebook. Which reminds me that I need to start numbering my pages, which I don't usually do on the game books, and I really should. I usually just forget, is the problem. For the Pigpen cipher, I'll include the keys to all of these ciphers in this book under resources, so I will include all of these, like, for people to use as, like, decoders. The card girl. Oh, I used to do this. This is really funny. I know where the cookies are hidden. Yeah. I remember those. A little difficult to do digitally or virtually, but I can keep that one in mind. That's more like for secret messages. But it is potential. Some easy secret codes. Oh, look at all these books. Oh, I used to live for these. The phonetic alphabet is not great for secret codes since you can literally read it out loud with very little training. I say that as somebody who doesn't know it. Oh my god, that's not... That is not the phonetic alphabet. I hate that misnomer as a linguist. That's fucking annoying that that's what they call it. It's not the fucking IPA. The actual phonetic alphabet is called the IPA. It's called the International Phonetic Alphabet, and it is not that. It is the thing that you see in dictionaries when it tells you how to pronounce shit. Tap code. Interesting. Might be a little bit difficult to do, though, especially if people have auditory issues or if it's remote. But this works. There's Morse code. I will be adding Morse code to it because Morse code is standardized, and I can include this kind of key like in the what's it called? In the game book. So I'll probably add that there. If this is big enough, then yeah, you can use the book code with this book. And then just pretend it's a different book in-game, of course. But I think that it'd be fun to be able to integrate this kind of stuff into the game. I think it'll make it more fun to play. So let's see. So there's codes. There's details. What other types of clues would we have? Maybe like a physical clue. Schedule. Ticket. Business card. Maybe somebody will have like more like a like geology skill sets, like maybe like mud tracks or something. So a detail is something you're perceiving. And a physical clue is like a fucking literal physical clue. This is cool. I like this. This is cool. It's gonna be fun. I think I'll have to come up with some of the gadget examples before I can come up with their own mechanics. Just so that I can make sure that they fit nicely. Yes! Oh my god. I actually was almost never on Club Penguin, but I do remember some stuff about it. But oh boy, yeah. That sure was a time. I was more of a Build-A-Bear.com type of person and a Neopets person. Although I actually didn't have a real Neopet for the longest fucking time. And oh boy. Also, have I had dinner? Oh, it's been 2.5 hours. I have not had dinner. Thank you for reminding me. You are correct. I should take a break. I will go eat. I promise, I promise, I promise. Okay. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'm looking forward to all of our plans together. I will continue to work on this off and on stream. And I will hang out with you guys soon. Also, because I still have a visual novel to review. That I was so, lucky as to be sent. It's also very sweet that since then more people have, emailed my, public, contact email and sent me games to stream here, which is really, really nice. Thank you very much. I will get to those as soon as I can. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for listening to the TED Talks and the tangents. Thank you for watching out for me. I will see you guys later. Have a good one. Everybody hydrate.